Internet, my name is Ren. This is Rants, a channel where I rant about many things that I care about with a particular focus on pop culture and politics. In this video, I'm going to be doing the spoiler-freest review that I have ever done. I'm going to tell you almost nothing about this show except for that you really need to go watch it right now because it is amazing. I am, of course, talking about the Netflix original series Russian Doll, which debuted on February 1st, and I watched the entire thing on that day because I haplessly clicked on an episode and I got sucked right in. I couldn't stop. I immediately recommended it to all of my friends when I was about halfway through it, and I'm so excited and hopeful for a second season because it is fantastic. So learn as little about this show as you possibly can before you just go and experience it. It stars Natasha Lyonne, who you may remember from the other Netflix original series, Orange is the New Black. She portrayed the character Nikki Nichols, and I think that she was definitely one of the highlights of the show, probably one of few characters that I still enjoyed by the time I stopped watching the show. Her and Kate Mulgrew were basically my favorites, but I digress. This is not a review of Orange is the New Black. Here, she plays a young game designer named Nadia living in New York City, and the pilot starts with her birthday party. And I'm not going to tell you anything else about the specifics of the show. The premise of the show isn't really even that original, but what they do with it is just so creative and so well executed. And watching this story unfold is like watching a flower bloom. Like at first you just think it's, it's something you've seen before, it's normal, it's beautiful, it's fine, and then it just amazes you. I mean, I guess maybe a flower blooming is a little bit more consistent and less exciting than that. It's not the best metaphor, but I've committed, so we're just gonna go with it now. So go watch this show. A fun bonus is this show was actually written by either an all-female or almost entirely female writing team. The head writers, I think, were Natasha Lyonne, Amy Poehler, and Leslie Headland, and I didn't actually know that going into the show, but I think it's really cool, and you can kind of tell because of how the female characters are written that it had a lot of female influence on the writing staff, because I think there's just a groundedness and a well-roundedness to these characters that you just don't come across quite so often. When it does indulge in tropes, I think that it does a really good job of subverting them or stretching them or experimenting with them, and there's just so much going for this show. The show also has a very nice and well put together aesthetic. It's a little bit more dark and gritty, lots of nighttime scenes, and I think that they do a good job of still introducing a lot of contrast, and the emotional resonance of this show is really good. They build up the side characters really well, but they don't overtake the main characters, and taking such a simple premise but using it in such a sophisticated way, I think just puts this show a cut above pretty much anything that I've seen in recent memory. Like, the writing is just so tight and concise, and every episode advances the story while still pulling you in, and when there are twists and turns, they're unexpected, but they make sense, and it all sort of starts to click together. I really love shows like that where it kind of builds up a mystery and the puzzle pieces fall into place. I think it's kind of similar to shows like Sharp Objects or The Haunting of Hill House in terms of not being afraid to go dark places and not being afraid to really take the audience seriously. But I think the conclusion of this show was actually stronger than either of them, or the conclusion of the first season. And to an extent, you could almost say that the first season, you could end it there and it would be a fully told story, but there has to be a second season because I need more. And they ended it with such a good jumping off point. I want to talk about the particulars so much, and I will definitely make a review where I analyze the show more in depth and I talk about the plot of this show, because the way that this show was executed, I just cannot say enough good things about it. It was really impressive. I'm just so excited about this show. I know this is kind of like a really weird, rambly, giddy review. I think it's because I just really want to get my enthusiasm across without telling you anything. Because part of what was so fun about this show for me was just how completely unexpected it was, but just how much it all made sense by the time I got to the end. And there's still so much more mystery and so many more questions to be answered that I think it really has a direction to go in if there is a season 2. And I can't imagine there isn't a season 2, because everyone who has seen this show seems to be raving about it. I think it has like 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is a phenomenal show. I am amazed at the quality of this show. And I think that it's easy to forget how much quality TV and cinema really is out there now, because sometimes it's hard not to get bogged down in all of the reboots and remakes and unoriginal ideas and cash grabs. So when you find something that's just truly amazing, I want to shout it from the rooftops and share it with everyone, because I want more shows like this. I think that it is just a beautifully made show. I think there's so much going for it. The acting is superb. The writing is just so precise. And it's just, the show made me happy. I think this show actually made my week. So if you have seen this show, please no spoilers in the comments, but let me know what you thought about it. And if you have not seen this show, let me know if you are excited to see it, and then come back and let me know what you think if this video encouraged you to go check it out. Again, I'm just not going to tell you anything about the show itself besides that it's incredibly good, very well done, and you need to go see it right now before anyone can spoil it for you. I will say that even if you do get spoiled and the premise is ruined for you, I don't think that that will ruin the show at all. I just think that it is a lot more fun if you kind of just let it happen to you without going in with preconceived expectations, because it does a good job of specifically building up certain expectations and then deliberately subverting them, and just experiencing that totally unexpectedly is delightful. Okay, so I have nothing more to say. I tried to sign off this review and ended up rambling more. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. See you next time. Wiedersehen.